Indiana in the Morning is presented by First Commonwealth Bank, and it's AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. He's Matt Holuta from right here in Indiana, and he's spending some time with us this morning. Thanks for coming in today. I know it's not a great day for swinging sticks here this morning.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me. I'll definitely still be out there.
Will you really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where are you going today?
I'll just be up at Indiana Country Club just practicing.
Mm-hmm. You like it there?
I love it there. It's been a really phenomenal place for me growing up, and the head pro, Dan Braun, has been an awesome friend and role model to me since probably 7 or 8 years old, so it's been really good.
Yeah. Now, Matt, you just won the Sunnyhanna Amateur.
The West Penn Amateur.
West Penn Amateur
at
Sunnyhanna. Yeah, the West Penn Amateur at Sunnyhanna.
Yep.
How many times have you golfed that tournament?
That was probably my 4th time playing that event.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is the best you've done.
Yeah, this is the best I've done, for sure. Yeah.
And you played a little extra golf to do it.
I did. It took 3 extra playoff holes to get it done. So
yeah. So tell me about the guy that you went into the playoff against. How often have you golfed with or against him?
His name was Chuck Nettles, and I haven't played with Chuck too many times, but I actually played a lot of high school golf with his younger brother Tom, who played at Peters Township. So I was familiar with him. I knew Chuck, but yeah, we went out and it took 3 holes. I parred all 3 holes, and luckily that was good enough to get it done.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a great tradition around these parts for golf and particularly amateur golf.
Absolutely.
Sean Knapp was a part of that tournament. Mm-hmm. He seems to be a part of every tournament. Why not? He can really swing.
Sean's a phenomenal player. It's really impressive how long he's been doing it and the level he's been doing it for that amount of time. It's really awesome to see. When
you enter a tournament and you see Sean walking toward you, tell me what that makes you feel, because you know you're in for a match there.
For sure. At first, when I met Sean, I was very intimidated by him when I was younger, and I would see him and be like, oh man, that guy is incredible. But as I've gotten to play more and gotten a little bit better, I've actually become almost friends with Sean, so that's kind of pretty cool for me. And but yeah, I always enjoy seeing him, and also Nathan Smith at tournaments. Those guys have been legends of the area and really all around amateur golf for a long time. So it's pretty special to be from a place that has guys like that, for sure.
Now at the West Penn, who finished first, you or Nettles? Who finished the round first?
I finished first. Then
so Chuck, you had to wait.
I had to wait. Chuck was in the last group with Sean Knapp, actually. So they were coming down the back 9, and I was lucky enough to post a pretty decent number, and they kind of had to match it coming in. And Sean had a chance in the last hole, but missed his putt, and then Chuck played pretty solid coming in to tie me.
Your putter was pretty hot that weekend.
It was really hot that weekend. Typically, my putter is the part of my game that lets me down a little bit, but I've been working hard on it, and it really helped me out during that event.
Talk about your golf game. Because, you know, there are guys that I'm great off the tee. The short irons kill me. Mm-hmm. Getting in the grass, getting in the sand, that hurts me. Most guys say the putter's the most difficult part of the entire game. Mm-hmm. Round out your game for me.
I think I'm a pretty good driver of the golf ball. I mean, as I've been getting older and a little bit stronger, I've picked up a lot of distance, and that's definitely helped me in events. Courses have been playing on the shorter side for me, so that definitely helps. But I think probably the strongest point of my game since I was a little kid has been my short game around the greens. When I practiced when I was younger, I'd go out in my front yard with a bucket and some balls, and I'd chip all afternoon into the bucket. So that was always probably the best part of my game, and when I'm not hitting the ball well or not putting well, it's definitely saved me a lot.
Matt Holuta is with us, the winner of the West Penn Amateur, which was, 4 weeks ago?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you win that. You had I was looking at some of your results from earlier this season, the Big Ten Championship. You finished well there.
I did. It was a pretty solid event.
Yeah. Talk about golfing for Rutgers, the coaching that you get, the courses that you get to play, and the people you get to golf with.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been really amazing. I wasn't sure at first when I decided on Rutgers. I didn't really know much about the school, but luckily it totally worked out for me, and I have a great coach who works really hard and has worked really hard on my game, and I have awesome teammates, and yeah, I'm very fortunate with where we get to play. I mean, I had a week my freshman year where we got to play at Chambers Bay for a tournament, and then the next weekend we played Aronimink and Marion. So those are all courses that have hosted major championships in professional golf. So I've been very fortunate with the courses I've been able to play in college, and it's been a really, really great experience for me.
Have you found yourself on a golf course on a Saturday morning or a Wednesday morning or something where somebody who you know is really good, maybe a pro, a former pro, shows up at the course, you find yourself golfing either with them or around them in another foursome?
I mean, growing up around here, John Mills was always around.
Oh, yeah.
He was a phenomenal player, and he's now at Kent State, so I get to see him at some college events. But yeah, he was always around Indiana, and that was always pretty cool because he'd go out and I'd see how he finished on tour that week, or he played in the U.S. Open, and then I'd see him on the range practicing, and he was always very friendly with me, so that was definitely cool.
Yeah, yeah. Around the golf course, you just never know who's going to walk into the pro shop on a given day, do you?
Definitely. It's a very special game.
So what's the dream for you? Where does golf take you?
I mean, the dream is obviously to play professionally and do it for a living, and I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm planning on turning pro as soon as I'm done with college golf and I can give up my amateur status, but it's definitely a hard road to take, and you never know what could happen, but I'm going to give it my best shot for sure.
There's certainly opportunities. There are different tours, different level tours as well, and you can start with one of the lower tours and work your way up to the PGA.
Yeah, definitely.
You can go to Europe, like we were just talking with Bob Koepka, Brooks Koepka's dad, earlier this week about
he went that route over there.
Yeah, the European circuit. Have you ever golfed out of country?
Actually, I got to go to Ireland with my team this past fall, and we played a tournament over there. So, yeah, that was a pretty incredible experience.
What were the golf courses like? They're legendary.
We played at a course called Waterville, which is a top 100 course in the world, and it's very old, and it's like you'd picture. I mean, it's by the water, and there are no trees, and it's just swept by the wind with deep bunkers, and the ball just rolls, and it's a different kind of golf, but I wasn't sure how I would enjoy it because it's totally different than in the United States, but I really, really enjoyed the challenge of it, and you get to be so creative and hit so many different kinds of shots. It's really a lot of fun.
What'd you eat?
I tried fish and chips. I'm not a big fish guy, but the food definitely wasn't my favorite thing over there, but I tried to test out kind of what they eat over there, and it was a really, really cool experience.
They say that Ireland is the most beautiful country in the world.
It was really spectacular. I mean, just driving through the countryside there, where we was a really remote location. So I mean, not too much around, a lot of nature, and it was just really cool.
Now Scotland is venerated or reviled for its weather and how changeable it is. What was it like in Ireland?
You know, when we were there, we actually got extremely lucky. Some of the guys that were locals there told us that it was the nicest weather they've seen in their entire lives. So, I mean, it was like mid-upper 60s, and the sun was out a few times, actually, and it wasn't too windy, and we didn't get any rain. So I was kind of expecting and almost looking forward to those tough conditions, but it was absolutely beautiful. So that was really cool.
West Penn Amateur winner Matt Holuta with us here this morning. You mentioned the world-class golf courses on which you've been able to walk 18 and to play. Look at the golf courses around Indiana County and tell me what you enjoy about some of the courses that you get to play around here.
I mean, Indiana Country Club has been really awesome. I think it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's always one of the best conditioned courses I play around here, and it's a lot of fun to play, and the people around the club are really awesome and have been really awesome to me. So I've never really taken that for granted. It's been a really special place for me, and a lot of clubs around the area have been really special to me. And even down at Meadowlane, I played some Monday night leagues with my high school teammates down there when I was a freshman in high school, and I always enjoyed going down there. And definitely just a lot of special people around the game in the area, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Arnold Palmer influence, and just there's just a lot of really awesome people in the area in the game of golf. Yeah,
and when you do what you do and you spend a lot of time on the golf course, and at the same time you try to be a college student and pursue your grades and make sure that end of it is taken care of, you have to have a great family support system.
I absolutely do have a great family support system. My parents have been awesome all throughout my life, and we've traveled all over the country playing in junior events and taking weekends everywhere for me to go play, and that's been really spectacular. And the rest of my family has been extremely supportive as well, and my girlfriend, and everyone's, I mean, not even my family, just even in our town, has been extremely supportive of what I do, and it's really awesome to see that, and it makes me feel good for sure to be able to come home and see that support, and everyone's wishing that I do well.
What set of clubs are you playing right now?
I have TaylorMade woods and Strixon irons.
Is that what it's always been for you?
No, I've always been a Titleist guy, so I kind of switched it up in the last couple years and just tested out a lot of stuff, and it's what I like the best right now.
And what ball?
Strixon ball.
Oh yeah, you just said that. I wasn't. didn't pick up on that. So that's what's doing it for you. Huh?
Yep, that's what's doing it right now.
Terrific. Well, it's been fun spending some time with you, visiting with you.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Talking a little bit of golf on a day like this, when when you have stuff like this that everybody's dealing with. It's good to get away and step onto the golf course. When you have a wet course like you're going to have today, talk about that challenge, because it's much different when the course is hard and sun dried and the ball will hit the ground and roll. You have to play a different game.
It's definitely totally different. That's one thing I love about the game. It's influenced by the weather so much, and definitely when you go out and it's soft, the ball doesn't roll out as much and it sticks and sometimes spins backwards. So it's all stuff you have to consider and kind of think through before you play, or as the round goes on. You got to watch what's going on and see how the ball's bouncing and reacting. And even the temperature, 10 degrees can change how far the ball goes by 5%. So
yeah, I always wanted to ask somebody who's hitting a long iron or a fairway wood, who knows how to play the game, not like I used to. I always wanted to ask somebody, when you have the hard course, the sun-baked course, and you know the ball's going to roll, and when you compare that to a soft course that's really mushy, how on a long shot into the green, how does that affect your club selection?
I mean, it's huge, because not only do you have to think about how far you are, but you have to think about the distance you want to land it. So if it's 175 yards, really you might only want to hit it 165 yards, because you got to play for it to bounce, and then you got to pick the spot you want to land it, because maybe there's a slope you got to play for when it bounces. So there's definitely a lot of stuff that goes through it when the course is firm like that.
Yeah. Toughest hole at Indiana Country Club is?
I always had trouble with number 12 my whole life, but it's not as tough anymore now that I can hit it further, but it was definitely a tough hole for me growing up.
We'll go hit it today. Okay?
I will.
Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Matt Holuta, Indiana golfer, winner of the West Penn Amateur at Sunnyhanna Country Club. You going to golf the Sunnyhanna Amateur this year?
It's already passed, but I'm into it for next year, so right. I don't know if I'll be able to play, because I might turn pro, and it's an amateur event, but we'll see. It'd be awesome to play in for sure.
Terrific. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
It's AM 1160 WCCS 101.1 FM.